this is Roma, Rooms by Roma Interior Design, your more stylish roommate. I'm talking to you today about kitchen design mistakes. So most of these tips, you might think that they don't apply to you, but it's helpful to sort of think of these, especially if you're gonna redo your kitchen or you're building a kitchen, to try to keep some of these things in mind. If your kitchen already exists, then it's not like I'm telling you to rip all that stuff out and then put in my tips. This will just give you some idea of some things you can think about to make your kitchen function more in a way that would be more comfortable for you in the way that you live and your lifestyle. So my first tip is maybe to have a little more drawer space than you do cabinet space. Now, I'm also saying that since you have all these things in your kitchen, I'm not saying for you to rip it out, but if you're having a new kitchen built or you're thinking about changing your kitchen or redesigning your kitchen, these are things you might want to think about. So in my kitchen, I do have more cabinet space, but I do have all of my dishes in here. Kind of ignore that up at the top. You know, you always have to have water bottles, but I just hate having them out in places. But it's sometimes easier to have your dishes or your pots and pans in drawer spaces than in cabinets. The thing that I do have in some of my cabinets that helps is I have these pull-out mechanisms where you can pull them out a little easier, and then you can access your tops a little more easy and things like that. Well, it is easier if it's not a mess. When you have other people helping you put away things, they don't always put it back the way that you want it to. So in these cabinets too, I still have these pull-outs here for my pots and pans. And so that helps, but sometimes in drawers, it's a lot easier because then you don't have to reach back in some of these far back spaces to access the things that you use every day. Tip number 2 would be decluttering your countertops. Now, I even think for me, I still have a lot of things on the countertop, but these are things that I do tend to use every day. So if you have appliances that you don't use every day, such as a toaster oven or a rice cooker or a air fryer and those types of things that you don't use every day, find another space that you can possibly store them to clear up your countertop. It just gives you less visual clutter. It also gives you a little more places to display other things, like a lamp. So in a lot of areas or spaces, even at night, we turn on these little lamps just to give us a little more lighting, a little more space, and it just makes it feel a little more homey in some areas. So I have a lamp here. I also have a lamp on the other counter too. I think I do. No, we moved. Oh, no, here it is. So we do have this lamp over here too. Oh, but it's not plugged in. The cleaning ladies must have unplugged it yesterday, but it just gives you some little light in little areas, task lighting in other areas that you can use to help when you're in the kitchen. The next tip I'd like to talk about is making sure your appliances fit the space that you need them to. So again, we're fortunate enough to have our appliances built in to the space that we needed them to, but you just want to be conscious of that and make sure that if you have a refrigerator, it's not sticking out. Or if it's cabinet depth, it's actually cabinet depth and it doesn't stick out further than the cabinet space. Also too, making sure that your ovens and things are the right size and they don't stick out. You know, your double oven and your microwave and those things. Also too, speaking of the microwave, if you're going to redo your kitchen, don't put the microwave underneath the vent hood. Those aren't things that we're doing now. It makes it a little less current. It also makes it a little more visually cluttered underneath if you have your microwave underneath your hood range. So those are some other tips, is just making sure the appliances that you purchase fit the spaces that you need them to. And so I do use my microwave and my oven. I know it's very clean, but I keep it clean. I don't like dirty appliances and those sorts of things. So we do cook in our kitchen. I know it's pretty, but we also still cook in our kitchen. So just something you should think about, just making sure your appliances fit the spaces that you need them to. So the other thing you want to be aware of when you're designing your kitchen is having impractical knobs and latches on your kitchen countertops, kitchen cabinets. That's the word, cabinets and drawers. So you wanna make sure that the cabinets and the countertops, sorry, the cabinets and the drawers, why do I keep saying countertops? Cabinets and the drawers have the proper hardware, not only decorative, but functional. I think that sometimes you forget that you're gonna be in your kitchen and you're gonna be moving around and you don't want, your items of clothing catching on the wrong sort of handles or drawer handles or anything and tearing your clothes. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it can happen. So you just wanna make sure that they're not just pretty, but they're also functional and work in the space that you are using on a day-to-day basis. So the next tip is having other kitchen cabinet colors other than white, as I'm standing in my completely white kitchen. Now, I will also preface that I did not design our kitchen. If I would have designed our kitchen, it probably would have been completely different than this. But think outside the box. So if you are redesigning your kitchen or remodeling your kitchen or building a kitchen from scratch, try and think of other kitchen colors besides white. So you can think of natural grain cabinets. You could think of two-tone cabinets. Do a different sort of front for your cabinet. So either a slim shaker or a traditional shaker like I have, or something like that where you're thinking outside of the box, and kitchens can be more than just a complete white kitchen. If I could redo our kitchen, it would be completely different. I would probably do grain cabinets, a wood grain cabinet, probably a white countertop and backsplash, but a countertop and backsplash that had more veining in it. So it would be some creamy tones, but also some brown tones in the veining. And I'd run it from the countertop all the way up the wall, up the ceiling, and just have that all tied together. Maybe do an off-colored island where it was either black or maybe a dark green or navy, just to give you some other ideas of something other than white. The next tip would be to scale your pendant lights according to the size of your kitchen countertop. So I think a lot of times when you are scaling for your kitchen lighting, sometimes I think the pendant lights are too small for the space. And so I don't know, I guess for me, I always think bigger is better. And sometimes, 3 might be too large for your space. And so you go with 2 larger ones or 1 linear pendant that may go all the way across. But I think for the size of our countertop we have, I think the size pendants work perfectly. And my last tip is don't skip the details. So again, we're fortunate enough to have a little more space for storage in a butler's pantry. And so one of the tips I wanted to do is to make sure that the cabinetry over here was lighted. None of these cabinets existed, so we did add these later. So we did add the marble countertops and the base cabinet here and the display cabinets on this side. And these just hold extra dishes and things for parties and such. And this bottom drawer is where we put backpacks and stuff when we come in. We come in through our garage, and so there was no sort of drop zone for those things, and I don't like to see all that stuff. So I'd much rather have it hidden down in the cabinet like we have it. So we also added all of these cabinets as well. I like to entertain, and so we have a lot of dishes and things that we have for display. So we wanted this area lit up as well. So this lights up our glassware, and then at top we have a few more pieces, and then wanted the cabinetry lit up. And so these are just little details that you want to think about that will add a little more luxe and a little more style to your kitchen spaces. These are masks that I've collected. I kind of like art with faces. I'm not sure why, but I'm always gravitated towards art with faces, and I have a lot throughout the house. So we lived in Colorado before we moved here to Las Vegas, and we went to a fundraiser sort of / masquerade party and I couldn't decide on which masks I wanted to wear, so I bought a bunch. So the other ones that we didn't wear, I have as display in our house, and I just kept them. They're good memories, and so I just kept them and hung them on this wall. They may not stay here, but that's where they are for now. But those are other little things that you add, not skipping the details. Find things from memories and hang those artwork pieces up just to remind you of good times and those sorts of things. So this completes our kitchen tips video for the day. Thank you for spending part of your day with me and taking the time to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it also lets me know what types of videos you'd like to see in the future. So thanks so much and have a great day.